Welcome to ZoomInData. In this video, we will cover Power Apps interview questions on forms, validation, and user input handling. This topic is extremely important for real-time Power Apps projects and is frequently asked in interviews. We will explain each concept in a simple and practical way, so even beginners can understand how forms work, how data is validated, and how user input is handled correctly in Power Apps. 1. What is an edit form in Power Apps and why is it used? An edit form is a built-in control used to create, update, or view records from a connected data source. It automatically binds fields from the data source, reducing manual effort and errors. Edit forms manage submission, validation, and data types internally. They are preferred because they simplify CRUD operations and improve reliability. 2. What is the difference between edit form and display form? Edit forms allow users to enter or modify data, while display forms are read-only. Display forms are used when data should be viewed but not changed. Using the correct form improves user experience and security. Mixing both forms incorrectly can confuse users. 3. How does Power Apps handle form validation by default? Power Apps automatically validates required fields. Data type validation is enforced by the data source. Invalid entries are blocked before submission. Default validation reduces basic data errors. 4. Why is custom validation required in Power Apps? Business rules are often more complex than default validations. Custom validation ensures business-specific conditions are met. It prevents incorrect data even if basic validation passes. Custom validation improves data quality significantly. Example: prevent submitting a form if the end date is earlier than the start date. 5. How do required fields improve data quality? They ensure critical information is always captured. Users cannot submit incomplete records. Reporting becomes more reliable. Business processes remain consistent. 6. What are common mistakes when using forms in Power Apps? Using too many forms on one screen. Mixing form-controlled fields with manual controls. Not resetting forms properly. Ignoring error handling. 7. How does the submit form function work internally? It sends data from the form to the data source. Power Apps validates fields before submission. Errors are returned if submission fails. Successful submission updates the data source. 8. How do you handle form submission success and failure? Success handling confirms submission to the user. Failure handling informs users of issues. Proper feedback improves user confidence. Error messages help users correct input. Example: showing a success message after save or an error message if save fails. 9. Why should forms be reset after submission? Resetting clears old data from the form. Prevents accidental duplicate submissions. Prepares the form for the next entry. Improves user experience. 10. How do you manage multiple forms in a single app? Use separate screens or sections for clarity. Clearly define the purpose of each form. Avoid overlapping responsibilities. Structured design improves maintainability. 11. How does Power Apps handle input data types? Each field has a defined data type. Power Apps restricts invalid inputs automatically. Data consistency is enforced at submission time. Data type enforcement reduces errors. 12. How do drop-downs and lookups improve user input handling? They prevent free text errors. Ensure consistent values across records. Simplify validation logic. Example: selecting department names from a drop-down instead of typing. 13. How do you prevent users from submitting invalid data? Use validation logic before submission. Disable submit buttons until conditions are met. Provide clear error messages. Guide users step by step. 14. What is the role of error messages in form design? Error messages guide users to correct mistakes. They reduce frustration and support faster correction. Clear messages improve usability. Poor error messages confuse users. 15. How do you handle optional versus mandatory fields? Mandatory fields are enforced through validation. Optional fields allow flexibility. Clear labels help users understand requirements. Balanced design improves data quality without frustration. 16. How do forms behave with relational data? Forms support lookup fields automatically. Related records can be selected easily. Data integrity is maintained. Relationships simplify UI design. 17. What challenges arise with long or complex forms? Users may feel overwhelmed. Error correction becomes harder. Performance may degrade. Breaking forms into steps improves usability. 18. How do you design multi-step forms in Power Apps? Divide the form into logical sections. Use variables to track progress. Validate each step before moving forward. Example: a registration form split into personal, address, and confirmation steps. 19. How do you handle numeric and date validations? Ensure values fall within allowed ranges. Prevent logical errors such as negative numbers. Validate date sequences carefully. Improves business rule enforcement. 20. How does form design affect performance? Fewer controls load faster. Simple layouts improve responsiveness. Heavy logic inside forms slows the app. Optimized forms improve scalability. 21. What are best practices for form usability? Clear labels and instructions. Logical field order. Minimal required input. Immediate validation feedback. 22. How do forms interact with Power Automate? Form submission can trigger flows. Automation handles background processing. App UI remains responsive. Integration improves scalability. 23. How do you secure forms handling sensitive data? Use data-level security. Restrict access based on roles. Hide sensitive fields when necessary. Avoid relying only on UI logic. 24. What interview questions commonly focus on forms? Difference between edit and display forms. How validation works. Handling submission errors. Best practices in form design. 25. Why is strong form design considered critical in Power Apps? Forms are the main data entry point. Poor design leads to data errors. Good forms improve adoption. Interviewers value real-world form experience. Thank you. If you found this video helpful, checkmark like, checkmark share, checkmark subscribe. ZoomInData. More Power Apps interview and tutorial videos coming soon. Stay connected and keep learning.